Got a
Oh,
nice video to tune
there
into
we
there.
go. Live.
How are you doing over there in
I'm
Indiana?
good. It's a little rainy today, but it's supposed to be nice tomorrow, so that's good. The kids will enjoy that, and we'll get outside, ride bikes. My
Yeah.
middle child, one of my middle children, learned.
I was gonna say which
Yeah,
one.
she Juniper took her training wheels off this week, so she's excited. She's cruising around. So
Nice.
her and the other two older
She's
kids are without training wheels and having a good time with that.
any any falls yet, or are we?
She had one last week when her training wheels were still on, and she got scraped up elbow and knee. But since the training wheels have come off, she spent like maybe one afternoon kind of getting comfortable with it, and then she's been just cruising ever since. No falls yet.
That's awesome. We've only had one fall, really. I mean, of course they do little
Right,
falls or
right.
whatever, but one big fall, and Tayden had to get like glue on his chin, and I was panicked. You like, I told this story to to an agent this week, and he's like, "No way, dude! Like a prior military guy like you, and you have that reaction." I'm like, "I do." I get it. I flight or fight kicks in, and I can't get further away when I see that, and I'm just like, "Ow!" And once I realize I can't run, I get serious and I can do
Right.
it, but
Blood.
my wife and I just know like you are the one if something happens and I'll support you. But
Blood's not your jam,
yeah,
huh? Blood.
no, just it's not the blood. I can see the blood. It's just like the pain. It's like
Right.
somebody being in pain that I love and I can't stand it. I hate it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
oof. Oof. Well, let's get off of this. Let's get to somewhere.
Right.
I'm about to fight or fight right
Right.
now. I'm gonna be
Well,
ducking out
I
on
mean,
you.
it is Q&A. We always start off with a little friendly banter. We talked about kids bleeding, talked about kids riding bikes. Uh,
I literally have sort of like the shakes right now. I don't like it.
well, it's been a good week though. I mean, we've kind of I think all the last ones we've been talking about COVID and what can we do now and all this stuff. And I think at this point we're in the new normal. We
Yeah.
are. This is how things will be for the next period of time. I did have a conversation with an advisor this week about seminars though. He was asking all kinds of questions about seminars, so I think he's kind of
That was
proactively getting
nice.
back in that mindset. And I saw that the government has released their steps to going back to normal type thing. It's like a 3-step plan, and it'll be up to the states and local authorities and all that. So it seems like there's starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's good. It's gonna be a while, but at least we're moving in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, and I mean it's been a lot of opportunity there, and it's kind of like a rite of passage. I feel like to go through a stage in your business where you got to step
Yeah.
up. So
Rebuild the business in the weekend. Like okay.
every weekend, yeah, yeah. So I feel like everybody's past that, and it's cool. Conversations now are very relaxed. It's very
Yeah,
normal.
it's just what.
So we want to do kind of a regular Q&A this time, where what actual questions did we get versus COVID-19 scare, because we're kind of over
Yeah, I
that.
mean, obviously, all these questions are related to like what we're doing now because of COVID, but
Sure.
Richie and I have kept track of our questions and jotted them down to save them for this video. And I think I'm glad that we're back to just doing a regular old Q&A, top questions of the week type thing. And
I see you, Paul. We can't even call attention to what you just texted me.
I didn't.
He's trying to creep me out on the whole.
Oh yeah, I see. I just put my phone upside down that way. I don't get bothered by those things.
Yeah, I gotta just do that. Thanks a lot, Paul. Good. So I'll start it off. I have a question for you, and I don't have my card to throw because I think it's just on screen now.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll just throw something. I don't know. Throw my phone that freaking broke yesterday.
I'm not.
Okay, so question. Okay, you ready? I got my first question
Yep.
for you. That's a nice looking cup you got there. It's a
Uh,
special
Yeah,
edition.
it's my least favorite because the logo looks all weird, but
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm just lying to you. Make you feel better.
it's red.
uh, okay, so earlier we were talking this week
Hmm.
and last week and probably every week and every day. But you said something that really stood out to me, and I want you to jam about it. I want you to rap about it in a second, because I thought it's a simple thing that you said, but it's smart and it's what people should be paying attention to. But you said this is a proactive, not a reactive.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking specifically about chat, like chat being inside your thing. So jam about that a little bit. What did you mean by that, and how does it apply to advisors today?
Yeah, I think unfortunately in the industry for years has been in a reactive environment where we've what can we do, what's happening right now and how can we react to that. I think what the whole coronavirus COVID thing has taught us is how we can how we do have to react to things, but we can do it in a proactive manner. Specifically, what we were talking about in that regard was we're doing a lot of these webinars now, and one of the features that we offer on our webinars are live chat. And at first, I was a little bit reticent to kind of offer that because I was like, man, that's just one more technical hurdle that people have to jump over, and it's going to be difficult. And we were kind of talking about like, okay, how would they use this? And the thought that came up that was, hey, we can use these questions inside of these webinars to open up the conversation, engage with the people that are on the live session, and really kind of get them to interact with us. We can use this in a proactive way instead of reactive. We're not waiting for them to ask us questions. We're asking them questions during that presentation, just like you would if you're in a traditional seminar. You would ask a question, you would look for a response. In a webinar, it's a lot harder to do that, right? You're not in the room, you're not looking at the person in the eye, you're not kind of gauging how they're reacting to you, and then leading them down another path based on what you're saying. So we were kind of talking about the chat feature, and that's where I said, well, I think that if we use this, if we put this out as part of our platform, we need to make sure that it's used in a proactive way, not just a reactive way. If somebody sits back and waits for a question to come in on the chat, they might not get a whole lot. But if you kind of stimulate that response, if you ask a leading question, and if your presentations, let's say it's about Social Security, and that, hey, in the point of the webinar that you're on right now is you're talking about the primary insurance amount, or the best time to claim, asking a leading question to the group, everybody that's there, something like, hey, if you have questions about when you should file for your maximum benefit, or how to find your primary insurance amount, let me know in the chat. And then you can kind of encourage these people to engage with you as opposed to just waiting for them to think of the question. So kind of asking those leading questions, being proactive about the way you handle your engagement in these virtual worlds, these virtual settings that we're all in now, I think is important, because if we wait for the consumer to ask us the right question, they may or may not ever do it. But if we ask the right leading question, if we open up that dialogue and we're proactive about it, people are a lot more likely to engage with you, and then also convert into an appointment and a potential client down the road.
And I think if we had to talk about what's the number one kind of shift that we've made when it comes to webinars, it's literally what you're talking about. Because in the beginning, it's, the whole, I don't know, quote unquote pitch for you is like, what's a benefit of a webinar? Well, you could be at home eating dinner and having ice cream with your family and just getting appointments on your phone. How exciting is that? So that's kind of how we led. And that's still true today. You can still be doing those things. Like, you can still be in sweatpants eating ice cream. The difference though now is it cannot be so hands off. That's a major lesson learned. You're going to get, it's kind of like a lead gen program in that way. You're going to get what you put into it. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. And that's really a lot the same. You'll get some low hanging fruit and some appointments, but yeah, I really, really like that proactive versus reactive, because if you're proactive and you get involved and you speak to these people directly and you act like a human being and answer questions or prompt the appointment, you're going to see a lot more fruit than just sitting back doing nothing. Right. So I thought that was really smart. So good, man. That was good. Yeah. Glad you could.
Yeah. So my question for you, Rich.
Okay.
And this is one I think that you'll be able to knock out of the park. Should I do a live webinar, or should I do a pre-recorded webinar if I'm doing webinars with you guys?
Okay. Unequivocally, 100%. Do not do a live webinar. Just don't do it. That's me. That's me being real. Don't do it. We can support it. And of course, there's systems out there and you can run them. My kind of feeling, though, fast forwarding from a month ago to today, is running a live seminar to me feels very traditional. I think it's almost like a safe place where some agents go because they're so used to being live at a seminar that I've got to do it live, right? Like that's the only way to do it. And there are some groups that are only pitching lives. And I think there's a lot of that they're hearing and kind of coming back to just a live format. But what we've learned is it creates so much more of a headache. I think not just for us, but for you, frankly. I mean, like if you do it automated, record your video, right? We're setting everybody up who wants to record it with a video audit or a video review with Ethan, our video guy. And we're really kind of taking off the pressure of what does it look like? How do I shoot it? What equipment do I use? All that's done. Right. Today, Andrew's going to shoot a demo video of what should your presentation look like in best practices. So you're going to have the training and stuff to get that part out of the way. And honestly, that's the easy part. We plug it into our system. You don't have to worry about tech. You don't have to worry about what button to push or how to share your screen or internet problems or outages. It's all in our platform. We're just going to roll it out. It's just automated. So that's the benefit, I think, is it's so much less pressure. It's less stress. And to the viewer, let's talk about them for a second, because to the viewer, they're going to see a Facebook ad. They're going to click it, go to a landing page, and they're going to register for an event. To them, they don't care if it's like you're actually right here doing it or if it's recorded and you're doing it, because to them, it's a live experience.
Right.
It's not on demand. They have to actually sign up for a date and time, show up and watch it. So for them, it's the same. We've seen so many problems with going live. I think it just adds way too much stress, and all the programs that offer live seminars are just kind of clunky. They definitely involve training, and you have to know where to click and what to do and timing. Just don't freaking do all that. It just is not it's not worth it.
Yeah, I would echo that. I think there's two primary issues that I see with going live. It's certainly, like Rich said, we can support it. If that's something you really want to do, we can definitely do it.
I know, I just crapped all over it. Like I'm saying, like, you can do it and it can be effective, and if you're super comfortable,
right?
And I didn't mean to cut you off. If you're super comfortable, like, okay, it's probably, we can make it work and it might be a good fit. I'm just saying for the average person, it's just not.
Right. Well, and I think the two things that I would take away, why do that? Because we can treat this experience like a live experience for the consumer. There's no reason to go live. With the exception of I'm more comfortable, I'm better in a live format. Okay, I get that. If you have the wherewithal and the technology and the stable internet and the stable computer and all that stuff and you're comfortable with it, absolutely, we can help you out. The other reason is kind of going back to the proactive versus reactive. It's really difficult to be proactive in the chat and engaging with people that you can't see. So since we know that that's a problem with webinars, why not record it, be dynamic, do a great job, treat it like a live session, and then you can kind of be in two places at once. You're giving the presentation, and then you're also chatting with these individuals. And like Rich said, from a consumer's perspective, it's not recorded. I mean, it's a live recorded replay, essentially is what it is. That's how we're treating it. And we're not hiding behind the fact that it's recorded, but to the consumer, they can only get this content during the specific window. So from a scarcity standpoint, it's the same. The technology is a lot more stable. The quality of the video is a lot better because you're not relying on your internet connection or even our internet connection. You're relying on the internet as a whole, and you're able to interact with these people. So I think, like Rich said, unequivocally, if you're asking our opinion, pre-recorded is the way to go. Of course, if you want to do live, we've done it. We've seen success with it. We've also seen how it can be really difficult to manage. So we're in firm agreement on question number 2 there. So,
yep, we will hear you out if you want to, but we're probably going to say, I think automated.
Yeah, we're going to definitely recommend the automated route. It's just hands down, it's a lot more efficient for you and a lot less stressful for everybody. So, yep. And we got our
sharing this to my own page. Forgot to do that.
That's probably a good idea. I'm managing 4 things at once when I do these, so I don't think I'm going to try to do that.
I know. We got a lot going on.
I've got multiple things. I'm trying to make sure that everything's... I'm not going to try to do that.
I mean, I hope that Apple can keep up.
Oh, I'm sure it can. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that.
Right. Okay, I'm sorry.
At least my phone didn't die on me.
Okay, I got another question for you. Just going to ignore that. We're going to move on.
What's your next question, Rich?
Okay, so we have an advisor who's going to shoot their own video. They're going to come in, and I think we could talk about topic and stuff, but honestly, it's kind of a moot point because it's whatever topic. A lot of it's current events and retirement planning, all that stuff. So we have that settled. How long should that video be? Super simple question. How long should their video be? I'm going to shoot my own. What would you tell me?
I would tell you probably should keep it between 30 and 40 minutes tops. And that's actually a pretty big shift for a lot of advisors because they're used to maybe having an hour, even an hour and a half to give their presentation. And they're going over a lot of really valuable information. So it's really hard to say, okay, what do I take out to make it that short? I do have some tips, some pointers on that. But essentially, what we've seen, okay, we run several dozen of these campaigns at this point. I don't know exactly how many, but enough that we've got enough metrics here to measure how long people are staying. I think the average attendance length, people that are on the session, is right at 28 minutes. That's how long people are sticking around for these automated webinars. So if we go much longer than 30, because keep in mind, that average is including the people that are on for 4 minutes, and it's including the people on for the full session, 35 minutes. So it's, what we're seeing is the people's tolerance on average is to stick around for between 28 and 30 minutes. And we've got some people that join a couple minutes late, so they're seeing the whole thing. All that to say, 28 is the number that we're seeing across the board right now. So don't go beyond probably 40. And the way to whittle down your presentation, I think the simplest way, if you're used to giving, four main points, maybe it's, Social Security, income planning, taxes, and longevity, like healthcare or long-term care or something like that. Eliminate one of those points, maybe the one that you're weakest on, or that you don't actually do yourself. Maybe you don't do long-term care, or you don't do Social Security planning. Whatever the thing is that you don't actually do, you're just giving information on. Eliminate it. Get rid of it. Take it out of the presentation. And then you're down to maybe 3 points, and maybe spend less time on one of the remaining 3. So you're really focusing on your 2 most powerful, strongest calls to action, the things that your clients resonate with the most. And you should know that. You should know, hey, of all the presentations that I've given, or all the meetings that I've had, of the topics that I cover in my presentation, these are the 2 that people have the most questions on. So focus on those. Focus on those 2. Spend the first couple of minutes of your webinar kind of introducing who you are, then get into the meat pretty promptly. Make sure when you're recording one of these things that you're treating it like a virtual environment. And by that I mean you're talking about, instead of, hey, call me to schedule an appointment, hey, there's a button below where you can click to request an appointment, or hey, there's a chat window to the side. Make sure you submit your questions to me. Saying things like that in your recording, I think, will really help. They'll obviously add some length, but you want to make sure that call to action is integrated throughout the video, because some people don't stay for the whole time. So if you wait until the last 2 minutes to give them your call to action, they may never hear it. I would say start giving your call to action within probably 6 to 10 minutes. Start dropping that seed, kind of hinting at, hey, there's a box down there where you can request a one-on-one appointment. And I think the way that I would recommend doing that is, in your normal seminar, surely when you move from one section to the next, maybe you had an appointment sheet or something like that, and you were referencing that, hey, if you've got questions about the topic we just covered, check the box or circle the box or whatever. And when we talk about appointments at the end, we'll make sure we address those specific questions. Do the same thing, just instead of, you're following along with your appointment sheet, hey, if you've got questions about the topic we just covered, there's a box down below where you can submit questions, and a button right below that where you can schedule a time. And again, keep that thing to between 30 and 40 minutes. I know you guys have a lot of great content that you share, so I'm not going to tell you got to keep it to 20 or something like that. Obviously, in this case, a little bit shorter is better. We don't want to take up their whole night, with the webinar. And people's attention span's pretty short, so try to keep it succinct.
Yeah, that's awesome. My big point is just to echo what you already said,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like if you're just sitting live in an audience, you're not going to get up and walk away. It's just weird. It's socially awkward. Like, you're going to sit there and you're going to kind of do it. They can have the ability to just one click and they're out in this virtual world. That's the reality of it. So engage them, let them know what you want them to do. They need to know that there's an action you want them to take. Don't be aggressive up front and say, like, kind of soft pitch it like a human being. And that's where that typing comes into play too, in the chat. But just keep in mind that they are virtual and you do want them to do something. It's just like walking around the room, as you said, after your seminar, you need to walk around this virtual room, and those are with prompts. It's telling them where the chat is. It's like the house cleaning stuff you do at the beginning of a seminar. If you want, cookies and water, it's in the back, bathrooms out that way. You're doing those same things. It's just in this room. So those videos that will give you for training when you work with us, the demos and all of that, actually watch those. There's a full page that we're putting together that we're building constantly and putting really cool assets in there, walkthroughs and all of that. So I think to wrap this thing up, that's really my final kind of call to action is when you work with us, you're going to get all those kinds of links and those trainings and those helps and the video review with Ethan, and all these things are included. It's a very easy pricing model that you guys are really, really liking. And frankly, we're really enjoying as well. So go to our website, contact us. The number's on the phone, on the screen right now, I think, right?
Yep.
Do all those things and go to YouTube and subscribe to that.
Subscribe to our videos. Like our Facebook page, because we do these videos. We try to do them every week. We've only missed one probably in the last 3 months. And that was for reasons that I don't care to explain, but
they remember.
They remember Babyface Andrew.
Did you notice that you were reading a book back here today? I mean, you're not hanging out in the normal spot. You're hanging out with me on my love couch back here.
Well,
my love seat thing.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I do like to read quite a bit. So,
I know that.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for another Q&A with RA. We will be back here, I'm sure, next week, and
we will see you next week.
If you got questions you want us to feature, I wouldn't mind at all featuring a specific question from a specific advisor too. So if you got a question you want to share, we'll call you out. So I got an idea.
Uh-oh.
I got an idea.
Somebody in this quick in the live.
I've got an idea. If you share this video and submit a question for next week's Q&A, I will send you a Yeti from RA.
Oh man!
It's got to be the first one to do it. Let me put that caveat on there. It's got to be the first one to do it, and I'll make that kind of a standing thing. The first advisor that submits a question and shares this video, you show that to me, send it to my email. I'll send you a Yeti.
I like that. They're the cool. You're talking about the
cool
the
new ones.
Right?
Yeah, the new ones, the Coolsters, I think they're called. We just got a bunch of those in, and summer is almost here. And I know that we're all social distancing, but if you want to have a cold beer or a cold Coke or something like that, we got those Coolsters now. They're kind of cool. Happy to send one of those out to you. Just share this video, maybe subscribe to our channel, stuff like that. Send us a question for next.
Well, you
week.
can't just keep throwing in rules like.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
Just be like, send me $100 and you qualify.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, I mean that would absolutely I would do that. No, seriously, share the video, send me a question, I'll send you a Yeti, and
cool.
We'll have a good time. So anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks so much. We're gonna sign off.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Yep.